Hi everyone. How are you today? I hope you are doing all fine. You are at home and you are now ready to learn. To all our primary 5 students, welcome to Prasham 5. My name is Teacher Yuri and I will be teaching you today about science, particularly on the topic about friction. Okay, so I know that everyone is very excited to go back to school, but then because of the pandemic, we have to stay home and do online teaching for the meantime. Okay, so before we begin, I just wanted you to get your books, the Inside Out books, and as well as the student book for our lesson for today. And we are going to tackle the topic about friction. Okay, so what is friction? So friction is a force that acts in the opposite direction to motion. So there is friction when two surfaces are in contact with each other. For example, I have both my palms right now. So we have one surface and then another surface. So when we rub our palms together, it creates friction. If you can feel your palms, it is actually getting warm because of friction. So friction occurs when two surfaces are in contact with each other, and when the palm is going up, the friction is actually going down. The friction is in the opposite direction of the motion. So when your palm is going up, the friction is going down. So that is as well when the motion is going to the left, friction is going to the right. It is always the opposite direction of the motion. So friction prevents a stationary object. So it is an object that is at rest, so it will not go anywhere because of friction. To move a stationary object, the force exerted on the object needs to be greater than the friction. Okay, so for example, when there is so much friction on the floor where your box is, if there is so much friction, you need to exert more effort in order to move the box. You need to exert more force than there is on friction. So that is why you have to exert more effort. It is harder to move a box on a surface with so much friction. So an uneven surface actually has more friction than a smooth surface. Okay, so when you try to move a box on an asphalt road, for example, it is rough. So when you try to move a box, it is harder to move it than when you move a box on a tile floor, which is smooth. Okay, so uneven or rough surfaces actually has more friction than smooth surface. So again, friction acts in the opposite direction of the motion. When you move a box to the left, the friction will go to the right. Okay, the friction is going to the right. So when you move when the motion is going up, the friction is actually going down. So that is friction. And next, smooth surfaces actually has less friction than uneven or rough surfaces. Okay, so next, friction causes a moving object to slow down. So when you roll a ball, or when you push a car, your toy car, when you push it across the floor, it will speed up. Okay, it will go into high speed, and then it will slow down until it stops. It is because of the friction between the wheels of your toy car and the floor. So there we have two surfaces, the wheels of your car and also the floor. So when two surfaces are actually in contact, it creates friction. Now, next is friction produces heat. Okay, so we can see on the picture we have two surfaces, the stick and also another wooden plank. So there are two surfaces. When you rub them together, when the surfaces are rubbing together, it actually produces heat because of the friction between two surfaces. Okay, so when you rub your palms, for example, we have 1, 2, rub it together, put it in your cheek, it is actually feeling warm. It produces heat because of friction. Next, how does friction affect us? So friction allows us to walk without sleeping. Okay, so this is very useful for us because there are times that we walk on those very smooth surfaces, and because of friction we are prevented of the accident of falling on our backs. And the next one is friction allows a moving vehicle to brake. It is actually the contact, for example, in the bicycle of the kid on the picture. It is actually the contact between the surface of the tire and the brakes. When they meet, they actually create a lot of friction that eventually be able to brake the bike or stop it from moving further. And the next one is friction can cause wear and tear. So have you noticed if you use your car for a lot of times, you would have to change the tire anytime soon, because that the friction actually causes the tire to wear, and it is when the tire will start getting slippery, and over time, over the period of time, friction actually makes the grooves of the tire disappear or wear, which makes it unsafe to use anymore. That's why we have to change our tires of our cars or bicycles from time to time. So friction actually has some advantages and disadvantages. So there are times when we need to increase friction, and there are times when we need to reduce friction. So on the next slide, let us learn what can we do to increase friction. So vehicles' tires have grooves that increase friction between the tires and the road. So the grooves on your tires are actually not there for decorative purposes. It is actually there to increase friction so that the grip of the tire on the road is actually very good. This prevents us from having accident on the road, especially on a rainy day where water can actually make the road very slippery. Number 2, we also have to put grooves in the soles of our shoes to help increase friction. Now, your shoes, if you go and look into the soles of your shoes, there are grooves. They are not there for decorative purposes, although partly they are, but then they are used actually to increase the friction. Okay, friction is increased when you have grooves on the soles of your shoes, which actually helps us to not slip on smooth surfaces when we are walking. Okay, so these grooves and on your shoes are actually for you to be able to walk safely without slipping, because it increases friction. Next, some boots have spikes. Okay, so these boots are particularly used when you are walking in snows. Okay, where we don't normally use this in Thailand, but these shoes are actually used when you are walking in shoes. Though they have metal spikes on them to be able to hold on to be able to not slip when they are walking in snow or ice. Okay, so remember, ice are actually very slippery, so we have to increase the friction in our shoes for us to be safe. Next, we have the soccer gloves. Now, the soccer gloves can help a goalkeeper catch and hold a moving ball because the gloves actually creates more friction, so the ball will not slip away. So when you are wearing gloves, when you catch the ball, when you play soccer, you are going to catch the ball successfully and will not slip because the friction is increased. Now, what can we do to reduce friction? Actually, friction is very helpful, but there are times where it becomes very annoying. Okay, so for example, number one, when you move boxes, okay, when you move boxes on across the room, or when you are moving in, when you have a new fridge, when you have a heavy package that arrived. So when you move them, it is actually annoying when there is so much friction between the box and the floor. So what can we do to be able to reduce friction? So number one, we can reduce friction by putting wheels in order for us to reduce friction. Okay, so when you put wheels, you put your box on a wheel or something. When you move it, it actually is moving quite smoothly because of the wheels. The wheels actually helps us to reduce the friction. Next, oil. We can add oil between moving parts of machine to reduce friction. It is called lubrication. When you have a bike, you put oil into the chain of your bike to be able for it to move smoothly. So that reduces friction, and lubrication can actually help you to be able to move smoothly with your bike, because lubrication actually reduces friction. So you can use oil, you can use other things like lubrication, particularly for bearings, for chains of your bicycle. So we have a question following up. Which of the following does not help to increase friction? Letter A, wearing shoes with spikes. Letter B, replacing car tires that have worn out. Letter C, placing non-slip mats on a bathroom. Or letter D, making a floor surface smooth. So I will give you a few minutes and then you can tell me your answer. A few seconds. Okay, so the correct answer is letter D. Okay, it does not help increase friction because smooth surfaces reduce friction. Question number 2. When the ball is moving to your right, what is the direction of the friction? Which arrow shows the correct direction of friction? Is it arrow A? Is it going up? Letter B, going to the same direction, right? Or letter D, opposite direction, left? Or letter C, it will go down? What is the direction of friction? A few seconds and you can tell me your answer. Okay, so the correct answer is letter D. Remember, friction is actually going in the opposite direction of the moving object. So when the ball is moving to the right, friction is to the left. The direction of friction is to the left, opposite direction. Okay, so for us to be able to understand more about friction, I want you to please go ahead and look at this following video.
Zoom! Wow! Let me do it again. Zoom! Did you notice that? I learned it from my friend. You wanna try? Okay, get ready. Let's do it again. Zoom! It is real fun, right?
Hi, Timmy. What's up?
Oh, I was teaching my friend how to slide on the floor.
Cool. But now put on your shoes. Let's go outside and play.
Okay, wait. Ta-da! I am ready. But hold on. I want to show you something.
Now what's that?
Oh, I learned to slide. Let me show you how to do that.
Is that a game?
It's not a game, but I love it. Now look here. Here I go. Oh, I don't know what's happening.
This is not sliding. You are going to fall.
Ask all my friends. I was sliding so well. Guys, please tell her that I can slide.
Oh, I trust you. I know you can slide. But what just happened?
I don't know. I was sliding so well before I put on my shoes. Let me try again.
Is something wrong with your shoes?
I don't know. These are my new shoes. Let me take these off and try again. Here I go. Yippee! I wonder what happened. I can slide in my socks, but when I put my shoes on, I can't seem to slide.
So there is something at the bottom of your shoes that don't let you slide smoothly. Let's do some inquiry.
Yeah, let's look at the bottom of my shoe.
Can you tell me the difference between your socks and the bottom of your shoes?
At the bottom, it's not smooth like my socks.
Yeah, it's rough and it is made of rubber.
So rough surface of the bottom stops me from sliding.
When the rough bottom of the rubber rubs against the floor, it causes friction. This friction stops you from sliding.
Ah, but what is friction?
Let's look at it. Friction is a force between two surfaces that are sliding or trying to slide across each other. For example, when you try to push a book along this table, friction makes this difficult.
So friction works against the direction of the movement?
You are right. Let's look at it. Friction always works in the direction opposite from the direction the object is moving or trying to move. Friction always slows a moving object down or it stops it.
So you said friction is a force between two surfaces that are sliding across each other.
That's right.
So when I slide on floor, there is friction between my foot and the floor.
Again you are right.
But I have a question.
Sure. Go ahead, smart boy.
Why can I slide so easily with my socks but can't slide when I put my shoes on?
Very intelligent question. Can you guess the answer?
I think there is no friction when I slide with socks, but there is friction when I slide with my shoes on. The friction between the shoe and the floor does not let me slide properly.
You are partly correct. Let's look at this.
Ball on smooth surface is moving faster and the ball on rough surface is moving slower.
Correct. The amount of friction depends on the material from which the two surfaces are made. The rougher the surface, the greater the friction. And the greater the friction, the slower the ball.
Oh, now I know. The bottom of my shoe was rough, so I could not slide, but my socks are smoother, so I can slide easily.
You are a genius. Your answer is correct.
Can you give me some more examples?
Why not? Go get a ball.
Here I am.
Okay, roll it on the floor.
Oh, it goes very far.
Now pick it up and roll it on this carpet.
Oh, it does not go very far.
You're right. Can you tell me the reason?
It is due to difference in surfaces. Floor is more smooth, but carpet surface is rough, so there is more friction.
And more friction means?
Ball stops nearby.
Let me show you one magic of friction. Rub your hands together.
Oh wow, my hands are getting warmer.
See, one surface is sliding over the other and the force of friction is generating heat.
Wow, friction produces heat? Are there any other uses of friction?
Yes, there are many uses of friction. Let's say you want to stop your bicycle. What do? You press the brakes. The bicycle slows down due to friction between the brake pads and the wheels.
Any other use?
Okay, look here closely. This is the tire of a car. Can you see something?
Oh, the tire surface is very rough.
These are called treads. The treads on a car wheel is to increase the friction between the tire and the road.
So that the tires don't skid. Even my bicycle tires have treads. Wow, friction is so useful.
So friends, here is some homework for you.
Oh, don't be sad. It is very easy.
Homework number 1. Check tires of your bicycle. Do they have treads?
And homework number 2. Take a ball, roll it on the floor, then roll it on a carpet or grass.
And check the speed of the ball on different surfaces.
And one more work for now. Please press the like button below this video.
And if you like it, you can also play the quiz on MakeMeGenius.com.